Let's have some fun here. Cool. 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 Cool.
Triggering change, one heartbeat at a time. Battle for freedom.
Welcome, everyone. I'm your host, Watson Prunier for Battle for Freedom on Mojo 5 Radio, and I thank you, every last one of you, for joining and being part of the program. If you want to interact, you can go to facebook.com/Battle for Freedom. You can go to rumble.com/Battle for Freedom. You can even go to even youtube.com/@_Battle for Freedom. Actually, the nice folks there were cool enough to bring my page back. So I'm excited to start putting stuff back out there on the YouTube realm, and hopefully we'll be able to keep that for a long time. Just got to watch what I say. Thank you. If you want to interact, facebook.com/Battle for Freedom, rumble.com/Battle for Freedom. Leave a comment there, and I'll do my best to catch up with you, and we'll go from there. Let's do this. There's a couple of things I'm going to want to say, and I want to make sure that I get this shared out properly so that you guys can, everyone can enjoy and be part of the program. Let's see, I have this one, and I also have one more I want to share something on, and that is, holy guacamole. Yep, there it is. Leave my comment there, and then we should be good to go. But thank you for joining and being part of the program. All audio things going away, and I think we should be ready to rock and roll here and have a whole lot of fun. Again, my website, battleforfreedom.com. It's major changes coming up very soon, and you'll be able to enjoy that. If you want to interact, rumble.com/Battle for Freedom, facebook.com/Battle for Freedom. But let's get into some of the things I want to share with you first.
It's fascinating. Have you seen it? LaserShopLive.com. It's the YouTube channel for Romika laser engraving and custom designs. We're excited to offer you a 24-hour live stream of our laser shop, along with various videos showcasing our laser work and completed projects. Our state-of-the-art equipment and skilled designers create intricate designs on a variety of materials. With our live stream, you can see firsthand how we create our one-of-a-kind products.
I stumbled upon LaserShopLive.com and was blown away by being able to actually watch them work on their projects. Their laser engraving live stream is fascinating to watch, and I lose all track of time.
Whether you're a business owner, creative professional, or just someone who appreciates unique and personalized items, LaserShopLive.com has something for everyone. And with our YouTube channel, lasershoplive.com, you can watch our live stream and browse our videos anytime, anywhere. So why wait? Check out Laser Shop Live today and see what all the buzz is about. Visit lasershoplive.com.
Yes, visit lasershoplive.com. Let them know Watson from Battle for Freedom sent you, and you should be able to have fun. You should be able to have fun and enjoy what they have there. They have some really amazing things. Actually, this mug is one of them. This tumbler is one of the many amazing things that they do there. But they're more than just tumblers. There's a lot. They make signs, you name it. A wide variety of cool things I think you would thoroughly enjoy. Look into Laser Shop Live.
Hello, I'm Dr. Lee with horizontalhive.com, and I keep bees naturally. And everything starts by catching a local free swarm of honeybees. You put a small beehive like that on the tree in the springtime, and just as birds move into birdhouses, bees will move into a little hive like that. After that, you take the frames, put them in a bigger box, they expand, they collect honey from the flowers, and make good honey for you. And it can be as simple as that. No sugar feeding, no chemical treatments. I'm doing it for a living, and there are so many people who do the same thing. You can learn more in the book Keeping Bees with a Smile, and it's exactly that. Doing natural beekeeping and smiling at the same time.
Natural beekeeping and smiling at the same time. Look into that. And one more I'm going to do, and this is a special one.
Hey, my name's Trip, and I want to introduce you to Sun Oven. This is our all-American Sun Oven. We've been making these for the last 35 years. We're in 126 different countries all over the world. And basically, we call this a solar crock pot. And it's used to be able to just put your food in there and slow cook it with the power of the sun. You can never burn, scorch, or dry anything out inside the Sun Oven. Once you put it in, the sun reflects off of these reflectors in through the glass into the inner chamber, and it reaches temperatures of between 300 and 350 degrees. Really, the design is very simple. It's like the greenhouse effect. If you got in your car during the summer and it's really, really hot, that's what's happening inside the Sun Oven. You know, anything you cook in your regular oven, you can cook inside the Sun Oven. You can use any of your existing pots and pans. If they'll fit in here, you can cook with them in here, just like you do in your regular oven. It's designed for you to be able to cook your meal out with the power of the sun. And literally, the longer you keep stuff in here, the more juicy and tender it is. So that's a quick introduction to the Sun Oven. Thank you.
Yes, the quick. Now, and remember, too, as I said last week, Sun Oven, what they're going to do, and I'll confirm, but I was hearing from Doug and Stacy that they're no longer going to be focusing on the little smaller models for in U.S. sales, but they're going to be working on a bigger market of trying to help countries around the world with their bigger unit, which is very, very nice. It looks like a big satellite dish, but it does more than just servicing TV. I mean, it doesn't do TV service. It just provides countries and villages and towns of people to eat in large quantities by the power of the sun. So please look into getting yourself a Sun Oven. If you can afford the big one, I'm sure they'll probably be happy to get that done for you as well too. But look into that and you can't go wrong. Again, so a couple of comments here. Just want to acknowledge a couple of different individuals. I see Larry and Lep, I believe it was over there in the, Larry and Lep over there in the Rumbleverse, as well as on Facebook. I see Lep over there. You can catch him on Sundays at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it's funny because of the fact that yesterday's show was dealing with cats. and you know what? There are a lot of funny videos about cats, and actually the timing was perfect because I ran into a buddy the other day at Trader Joe's, and he lost his cat last year, and I mean, it was just me catching up with him because he always told me funny stories about his cat and some of the challenges that he went to. Hey, Lisa, thanks for joining. And it was really funny because the cat was just, it was a very finicky, funny, and temperamental cat. So I felt bad when he told me that the cat passed away. I mean, he was like his best friend, but I figured with some of the funny videos I see online, I was like, I gotta find some of these funny videos to share with him, because he was really, really down, but he was happy that I asked about it. And I think Lep's show yesterday with all the cats is really going to cheer him up. It'll be pretty funny. So, bro, you don't know how much your show just more than just made me laugh. It's going to probably do some serious healing for a good buddy that I know at Trader Joe's. So check him out, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The show is called Ain't You a Peach? Ain't You a Peach, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sundays on rumble.com. Take a look at that. So I wanted to really give you a shout out on that one because you're really going to offer some healing to my buddy, and I believe he will get you will really get some love. You'll get some loving from him when he watches that video. So today we're looking into this whole idea of a stabbing truth. It's probably a very poor choice of words in light of recent events, but I think there's a bigger truth that we need to look at this. Civilization is slowly dying because we're ignoring the stabbing truths that are out there. And we'll talk a little bit more about this. So there's a couple things we'll cover here with respect to these truths. Let's look at this and go from there. Ecclesiastes 3:18. I might have done this one in the past, but I'm going to revisit it. Concerning people, I said to myself, God is testing them so that they will see that by themselves they are just animals. I mean, when you sit there and when we basically boil this down, when I talk about the whole idea of civilization is dying, is that we keep thinking that with the more technology that we have, we are so smart and intelligent, and that God needs us. That God needs us to be the people who bring truth and reality and common sense to society and everything like that. But I think that's an inaccurate understanding of truth and reality and so much more. So what we're going to do here is let's look at some of these things about how we truly are animals, because every day we continue to prove this and show that we are just animals, no matter how sophisticated we truly become. And I hope as in light of this, we can make the necessary changes that we need to do in order to be grateful and thankful to God for all that he has done for us. And let's look at how savage we can truly become. So let's see. Mass stabbing in downtown Salem. At least 11 people are rushed to the hospital. So what would this be about? What would this be about? Because of the fact that, again, I got to get this one to you because this is very interesting with respect to this one here. I got to make sure it goes to read-only mode, because the stuff that comes through, sometimes the commercial nonsense with Daily Mail, can really slow my system down. Basically, Salem police said it responded to a call about a stabbing incident involving multiple victims at Union Gospel Mission of Salem around 7:15 p.m. They said that 11 people were then transferred to the Salem hospital with various injuries as the unidentified suspect was taken into custody. Usually, when they say unidentified, we know who it is because of the fact that it usually goes against the narrative that the news is trying to push, so that we don't continue to say, "Yep, I told you so. Looks like they did it again." Yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that to Britney Spears. But I mean, one of the things that we keep telling you about how if we don't take care of issue X, we're going to have result Y, and then you will see that your logic never worked. And we were the ones not as educated as you, but we were just telling you common sense should prevail. And when left unchecked, people tend to have their animalistic tendencies. This is the reason why, again, I'm just going to make this push for it, just to go back to why we need Torah, because Torah has boundaries. And when we don't establish boundaries for humanity, I don't care if you've confessed Yeshua as Lord and Savior, if you don't have Torah and boundaries guiding us. I mean, think about this. If there's a speed limit sign on the side of the road is a teaching, don't go above this speed limit and you won't get a ticket. Electric fences are boundaries, teachings. If you touch this fence that's electrified, you will have pain. There are all these different things. The sign, the radiation sign. Like, if you go beyond this point, you'll be exposed to radiation. Oh, wait. The big red and white sign that says basically do not enter, because vehicles will be traveling against you, and you will have a collision if you attempt to travel this way. Or even a one-way sign. All these different things are boundaries to allow order and things to move in the right direction and prevent, hopefully, well, sadly, there's some people who still driving in the same direction as you. They avoid other boundaries that, and in the end of the day, can cause catastrophe, accidents, or possibly even fatal catastrophes. But either way, there are boundaries that are established that we abide by in so many other different places. But for some strange reason, when it comes to Torah, was like, whoa, Nelly, I don't want to do that. So we're being humbled, and prayerfully we'll wake up and recognize that there's a reason why God sets up these things for us, to keep us from yeah, I saw this. I didn't get a chance to comment on it. Lep said over in the Rumbleverse, so if you live in Seattle, the sun oven won't work because they have no sunshine. Yeah, they have a lot of rain up there. Yeah, that's it could. I can either confirm nor deny. I'll let Rip answer that question for you, and then you'll find out whether or not that's true. But here it is. We have another stabbing. Okay, we have another attack by an unidentified individual in Salem, Oregon. Again, another liberal state with liberal policies that are literally insane. They free the criminals and punish the law-abiding American citizens. That's the civilization dying slowly. And people who continue to think that I can stay in these liberal states or even in these liberal cities and be safe, you literally have a loose interpretation of reality. And I believe that the matters will continue to devolve for you if you stay in that situation. Let's move on to the next one. These are not the droids. Bold terrorist in Boulder. Bold terrorist in Boulder. So, Mohamed Sabry Soliman, Colorado terror suspect, is identified as horror footage shows him with Molotov cocktails haunting victims. So, again, we're seeing a pattern here. We're seeing a pattern here in violence from people who are left unrestrained. And sadly and unfortunately, because of this, we are running into a problem where if we don't deal with these things now, they will only become worse. Again, I'm not targeting any particular faith, not any particular religion. I'm not targeting any particular ethnic group. All I'm saying is, as long as we continue to not enforce the laws of the land, we will continue to have crime. I mean, as low as teachers who have no respect of the boundaries that have been established with them, given the care of our children, and they do things that they're not supposed to do. Laws have been on the books for a very long time not to do that, and they continue to do that. There are people who are in law enforcement who continue to violate their oath. There are people who are in clergy who violate their oath. They definitely have rules against what they're doing. So if you don't have enforcers, or if you don't have a segment of society to enforce the existing rules that are there, why would anyone ever choose to abide by the existing rules? Just something to think about. Remember, what we've seen in the pattern is those laws only apply to us peons, but the people in leadership in all those different organizations, they continue to violate the very rules that they use to hold us into subjection. Does that seem fair? No, that's not something that doesn't sound like a good place to be. Hence, the civilization is dying, slowly dying, and it's time for us to wake up and recognize a lot of this stuff isn't changing, and they have no desire to change. They have no desire to change whatsoever. So let us truly wake up and smell the coffee. Here's something. Yeah, this is I'm not sharing that one left. Let's share this one. He says, everyone seems to forget that man is an animal. Because you can actually put the letters, what's it called, an anagram? Or what is it called when you rip the letters apart of a bigger word and you can make small words? Man is an animal. But I mean, again, the scripture passage just talks about we're just nothing but savage beasts. We're just nothing but animals in our behavior and everything that we're doing. And this is just further confirmation of what we need to understand. And again, this is to help us understand the context of where we're living and where we're existing. And I remember and Mary J. Watson, the person that Zendaya plays in the latest Spider-Man series. And she's like, she has this very morbid character, and she says, like, well, if you don't have high expectations, you won't have to worry about being disappointed. Well, honestly, to tell you the truth, if we've watched society if we've watched humanity, almost every segment of society, it's very depressing at times to see, and it's very marveling to see the grace of God not wiping out humanity, because we're getting very close to the flood days and needing a massive flood, a massive global event to scratch and restart everything. We need a major reboot, because we don't deserve what the Lord has provided for us. The point of no return. Here's another one. Let's go look at what do we have here? Teenage Muslim convert who plotted Isle of Wight Festival terror attack and has knifed 10 prison officers since being jailed is named for the first time. So let's look at this one here. Again, you see, is there a pattern here? People without boundaries will continue to do whatever they want, and they don't care about what happens. Let's see. Nathan Ruth, who can now be named for the first time after turning 18, was jailed for 7 years in 2024. Basically, a teenage terrorist who has stabbed 10 prison officers since being locked up has been moved into an NHS unit where he can enjoy board games and fight film nights. Nathan Ruth, who basically he was the attack at the Isle of Wight Festival. Then, when he was age 15, he had researched weapons, vehicles, stab vests, prison sources at Feltham Young Offenders Institute in Southwest London warned staff at his new NHS mental health unit are not safe from the Muslim convert extremists who tried to slice one guard's ear off and stabbed another with a makeshift weapon known as a shank. See, this is one of the things that we run into is that when prisons were formerly called reformatories because the goal was to reform individuals. But what happens when people don't change? What happens after several years when the individual has shown no signs of remorse, repentance, or being reformed, and continues to injure people? Because at some point, society must now answer for the lives who continue to get injured because they won't take the necessary actions. Because we're saying we're a civilized society, and we will do the best that we can to respect the rights of individuals, right? What happens when that individual, you've given them enough time to show some kind of change? Because anyone at this particular point who believes that there's going to be a change in this individual's life, even though they continue to inflict serious danger, you should have your mind checked. Your ethics, your morals. You should have your values and your sanity checked to believe at this particular point to continue to observe insanity and stupidity is the better way to go. I guess that's all I can say to avoid hitting any metrics of violating codes of simplism in society. So I'll just leave my comments to there for now, just to stay in the good graces of the powers that be. Lord forgive us. This is straight up crazy about what's happening here, and no one wants to make the changes of I think this is only going to get worse if we don't wake up. This is only going to get worse. Lord forgive us. This is sad. Let's move on to another one, because obviously we're not going to fix any changes, but our savage behavior, it just continues to happen, and it seems like they just don't care. Let's look onto this one. Is this the one I want? Oh, this is the one I want. Okay. Senseless and ineffective protests. Book burning in 2025. Man 50 who set fire to the Koran outside the Turkish consulate in London says he would never have come to Britain if he knew this country does not have free speech. Okay. I know people, we have this freedom of speech to do whatever we want, right? We can do almost anything we want or say anything we want. We can do almost a kind of demonstration that we want. Although it seems like in America, free speech is not as free as we want to, because on certain platforms, you can't just say whatever you want, whether it be the truth or not. You can't share the truth, because that can cost you your streaming capabilities. Your account could be disabled. But this is what I don't fully understand. I mean, how did you not know that London is not a free speech place? I mean, London. I mean, come on, London here in 2025. You didn't know this? And again, burning Quran, what does that accomplish? I mean, I remember years ago, it was more than 15, almost 2 decades ago, I heard about how in New York there was this, it was a display where these protesters put a crucifix in a jar of urine. And I remember I was like, oh my goodness, that's sacrilege, whatsoever. But as I look back on it, I mean, honestly, the crucifix, all it is just an icon. It's a bad portrayal. And unfortunately, it's not even an icon. It's also it's an object of idolatry with Christians. Because even if there was their show to basically speak out against Christianity or churchianity or whatever way it is, at the end of the day, in their attempt to disrespect and mock God, they only set themselves up for judgment. So why are we trying to defend a piece of wood that has a false image of our Lord and Savior on it? Why are we fighting to defend an idol? Right? I mean, seriously. Why are we offended? If there be any offense, a crucifix in a jar of urine is not so much the violation. It's all the other different things that we do. We created it to be sacrilege because we worship the articles of faith that we have. Like, I bet you if something horrible happened to the Shroud of Turin, I bet you there would be, which is Shroud of Turin is fake. It's fake. You know what the Shroud of Turin has proven more than anything else? is that we're so stupid we'll find anything and everything to worship and idolize. When the Lord says, you shall have no false images before me, you should not create anything from this world to worship and let it become a god, he means nothing to become an image. But we don't understand the simple instructions because we're not following his word to the T. Let's go to a break. I'll talk to you beautiful people on the flip side.
Psalm 1, verse 1. How blessed are those who reject the advice of the wicked, don't stand on the way of sinners, or sit where the scoffers sit. I love this because it's basically saying that the person does not want to associate with wickedness in any way, from hearing, standing near, associating, nor being comfortable enough to rest in his presence. Verse 2 says, their delight is in Adonai's Torah. On his Torah they meditate day and night. In other words, they love the teachings of God, and this is what they think about day and night. They are like trees planted by his streams. They bear their fruit in season. Their leaves never wither. Everything they do succeeds. Verse 3 is basically hinting that there's life in them, and it's not murky, stagnant water that passes by them or fills them. It's flowing, life-giving, clean water. But verse 4 says, not so the wicked, who are like chaff driven by the wind. Chaff, it's a substitute, or it looks like, or an imitation of wheat that has no substance and has no value, and it's easily manipulated. For this reason, the wicked won't stand up to the judgment, nor will sinners at the gathering of the righteous. In other words, there is no hope for those who reject the teachings of Adonai, who reject his Torah. They will not be able to stand, even though they think that they're gods. The Lord of creation will humble them. Verse 6, for Adonai watches over the way of the righteous, but the way of the wicked is doomed. In other words, if our goal is to reject Adonai, his teachings, his Torah, his rule, his order, that means that we will suffer the consequences of living in no order and complete chaos, facing his wrath for eternity. Why? Because we rejected his truth. Triggering change, one heartbeat at a time. Battle for freedom.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm your host, Watson Prunier from Battle for Freedom and Mojo Fiverr Radio. My website is very close to being done, and you'll enjoy what we have here. Also, I put in the link on Facebook, and I'll make it available on Rumble here shortly. But there is, oh yeah, I can do that. I can switch that over and copy the link right now. I'll give you the link. The Facebook link has the YouTube. So if you want to follow the channel, if you didn't have that before, you can go take a look at that and you'll enjoy. I'll make sure that you have the link over here too. And what the big reason why I love this is because of the fact that I can actually also get the comments from Facebook. I mean, from YouTube to Facebook, and I'll look at trying to also I'll look on basically, don't know how to pull the comments into my live stream on Rumble, from Rumble yet, but I might look into Twitter, maybe bring back Twitter and see how that goes. But today we're just talking about this whole idea of a stabbing truth. So civilization is slowly dying. It has been slowly dying for quite some time now, and I think the biggest concern that we have here is that we fail to learn from the horrible decisions that we have allowed to happen in our society, and for some strange reason, no one wants to pay attention to the major problems, the stuff that's common sense right in front of us, to walk away from. And I'm just praying that in all this, we learn and we hear and we make the right decisions before it's too late, folks. Seriously, I don't think this is going to get any better if we continue to ignore common sense. Let's see, that was that one, right? Yep. So we're going to move away from a lot of the violence, and we're going to continue to review this passage. Ecclesiastes 3:18, concerning people, I said to myself, God is testing them so that they will see by themselves. They are just animals. So we've focused on a lot of violent activity before the break, and this time we're going to move to our pseudo-intellectual and pacifistic ways of violence, or violent non-violence. And hopefully in the midst of that we can learn from this. Scientists discover food that flushes out cancer-causing forever chemicals. Yes, gotta love the scientists again. Science. They basically said consuming fibers, and it could be fruits that have a lot of fibers. Either way, more fiber in your diet is going to help you. Well, that's just an opinion, okay? Let me help you understand something. Not because the scientist keeps thinking that there's a one-stop solution for everything. And honestly, what we've learned from science and just basic study is not all people are treated equal. Physiologically, not everyone. The fact that all of us have hands that look the same but have unique fingerprints shows there's something uniquely different about us all. There is no one-stop solution that fixes everything for everyone, especially when it comes to consuming foods or basically taking solutions meant to remedy ailments in society. So this whole idea, because again, for the longest, you remember we were given the food pyramid, and we find out that the food pyramid was completely wrong. The food pyramid was wrong. The things that we were told were safe. The very same scientists who said that plastics were safe. They did all the review. The plastics were safe. Now we're warned about the PFAs they're forever in our bodies and forever in our systems that are affecting our fertility. This is what the educated, the confirmed, the doctorate holders, the scientists, the laboratories, everything that was confirming that they were going to basically maintain our safety. And the very people who are in charge now, who censor speech, said these things were safe. And now we find out what many of us have been saying for years has been true. And now the science is finally catching up with the truth. Science never promotes truth. It only catches up with the truth. Remember, the truth was already existing. The evidence was already there. We just had to actually catch up to it. If we, truth be told, science is only catching up to the truth because all it can do is observe and repeat what has already been there, or attempt to repeat a truth that already existed. Am I wrong? Because guess what? Once we observe the information of what's taken place, the science is already now in the past compared to, or the truth is in the past compared to what the science has finally understood. And I think that simple principle is easy to understand. And to not want to recognize that, it doesn't matter how many degrees, it doesn't matter what our educational pedigree is, it means absolutely nothing if we cannot recognize that science only catches up to the truth, but it never is the truth. So this idea of eating fiber, what about all the sugars? What about all the unhealthy sugars that have been put in, that have been genetically modified into the fruits that were never to be so sweet? And trust me, they did a wonderful job in modifying mango, because that is one of the sweetest and most delicious foods ever in the world. Something I must eat in very small quantities to make sure I do not become a diabetic. Of all the things that do it, mango, I love that stuff. It's so delicious. Oh, and Lep left a comment over there on Facebook too. There you go. Sweet. Oh, Lep says fiber is good. More fiber is good to help clean your colon. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But just like with the whole idea, we're told to drink like a gallon of water a day. The problem that runs into that was I was told, and it was shared with me that too much water flushes out the healthy bacteria that's supposed to be in our bodies to break stuff down. So, when we were told to keep drinking so much water that our water, we don't want it to be any kind of yellow and that it's almost clear, but that clearness is also flushing out the healthy stuff that we need in our body to break down the things that shouldn't be in there. So that's why we need the extra stuff like other things like Metamucil and other things to help the other stuff move, because we just won't allow I have friends who have been observing the carnivore diet. And even when I'm following the carnivore diet, I'm going to get a little bit informative here, but I understand that the solids that I consume allow some of the other solids to easily pass out of me. And I notice it more when I am on the carnivore diet and the carnivore plan. I had more constipation when I was consuming more vegetables, fruits and vegetables. I had more constipation. In my life. So as I share this stuff with you, I'm not making any kind of medical presumption whatsoever. I'm just basically letting you know what has happened in my life from the overconsumption of fruit and vegetables. I've had more constipation. I have had it has been literally impossible to pass anything properly when I'm not consuming enough meats and I overconsume fruits, vegetables, and fibers. Lep says 8 ounce glasses a day. This is here it is. 8 ounce glasses was recommended. Drink what your body needs. Drink what your body needs, because there are going to be days too that where people what about the days that I decide I want to water fast, or I don't want to consume too much water, but I only have maybe 32 ounces of water in a time period when I'm fasting. I mean, and honestly, to tell you the truth, when I go out and walk with less water, guess what moves a lot easier? Stuff in my body that needs to go. You want to see fasting help something? Go out and walk. Go out and walk. I just walked briefly with my daughters for about 45 minutes yesterday, and I was flowing like the Engedi. So scientists have come up with their solutions of what they believe can help people out. Let's see. We'll play it by ear and go from there. Loving it. Just loving it. Let's continue. It might be too much for some people. So, okay. Here's another one where, again, let's just go and see what the story has to say here. Major discovery about invisible breast tumors that are too small to show up on the scans. So, we have now ghost breast particles. So now they're saying, they've basically said that pap smear, is that what it is, when they smush the woman's breasts inside of the analyzer x-ray machine to look for things, it has actually caused in the lives of some women, and it has been proven to cause tumors and other issues. And now they're saying that even that device can't catch some of the stuff that's now appearing in women's breasts. So AstraZeneca now has a pill, a medical solution that can fix this. I think one of the problems that we have here is I think what's missing, and not just in the scientific community, in the political community, in the religious community, humility, humility, humility. I think there's a level of arrogance and hubris in society to believe that we continue to believe that we know what's best for society. The Lord has set forth what's best for society in his Torah and his teachings that we should follow, and I believe that healthy diet, healthy living, ethics that guide and govern us can create and cultivate an environment where we'll see less moral decay. Will there be people who continue to fight against the status quo of what God has established in his Torah? Yes, because you see it even in the church right now. For those who don't even want to abide by Torah, those who don't even want to look at the first 39 books of the Bible, they're violating on a daily basis. And some of them do it with satisfaction. Lord, forgive us. I'm definitely not putting that out there, Lep. Yeah. Also a good question. And Lep asks, water's permitted when fasting, is it not? Food is abstained from, correct? Yes, most definitely. But here's the thing: there are fasts, and there are more particular tailored fasts, and then there are extreme fasts where it's no water, no food. It is a serious, what do you do for the people? There are people who've been in extreme conditions who go without a lot of those different things for a particular period of time. Now, would I want to avoid water for that long? I don't know. There are certain people who can do it a lot longer, and that's on them of how. And guess what? And they make it through. They make it through. I think the biggest challenge that we run into more than anything else is we just don't know how to give up stuff. And I tell you, one of the false hopes that I've seen, because I've been there, I've practiced it when I was in Roman Catholicism, is observing Lent. I remember one year I gave up chocolate M&Ms for Lent. That's so pathetic. That's so weak and oh Lord, I gave up chocolate M&Ms, Lord. I'm fighting the fight for you. I'm fighting the cause. I'm giving up the M&Ms of chocolate and the peanut butter M&Ms too. I gave up. People give up candies. I mean, literally, Lent is one of the most humorous things that we do in society, believing that we're cleansing ourselves before the Lord. Extreme fasting is probably one of the. I remember last week when I was fasting, and I got to a point where I was like, "Oh, I got to do something now. I have to have something now." And my fast ended early. My fast ended on Saturday. I was going to take it into Sunday, but my week had ended in Saturday, so I consumed something late Saturday evening. But before then, I remember even on Friday, there was a point where I was like, man, it'll be a good time to grab something to consume. But I let it go. I'm going to tell you, there's been so much freedom in letting go certain things. And I know that every time I go to an extreme fast, I hear the Lord a lot clearer. That's just for me. When I remove all the things that we become comfortable with or we have become addicted to, it makes it a lot easier for me to be less cluttered in the mind, and my receptivity is a lot higher to hearing what the Lord has to share with me. Problems I've solved at work. Oh my goodness, this huge project I have for at work that literally by, I think it was Wednesday or Thursday, so about 4 or 5 days into my fast, And I got this big project. My boss is trying to help me with this, and I knew it was a big project, but I really started to see things clearer. By Friday, I'm typing up stuff like, okay, we need this, we need this, we need this. With like, I've been working with this program since 2012. Okay, so for 12, 13 years now, I believe that I had a better understanding of this tool, and it was by Friday last week, after more than 12 years. I'm the administrator. I'm like the highest level of understanding and power in this tool. I have another guy in the other segment of my business, you know, and he has a similar role to me, but he deals with the other half of the business. And so there's only two of us at our like small g God level. And the Lord showed me, he's like, you haven't even touched the surface of what you need to get this project done correctly. So I've got things typed up in my project area with my boss and my teams, and I was sharing with one of my other teammates who's assisting me in this. But I didn't have that before the fasting. So much more clarity came in, and it was just mind blowing about what the Lord's done. But AstraZeneca's come out with this pill. Hey, if that's what you're gonna try, so be it. So be it. Let's go. Let's continue. Sorry about that. Losing more weight. Frail Zempic. Frail Zempic. Let's deal with this situation. So they're basically now saying that for the elderly and those who are thin, or that there's more of a concern about this, taking shortcuts to lose weight. I've heard of Ozempic, but and now they're saying that even this science approved measure to help people with weight loss is now having negative impacts on people, especially the elderly. Okay. I guess the reason why I'm talking about civilization dying here is that they knew that this was going to be a problem. There's a lot of data that was caught in the trials that were not publicly made available because the statement, the pluses outweighs the negatives. The benefits outweigh the pains. The collateral damage is okay because it's going to better society. There are a lot of this double-blind study nonsense, foolishness. It's a sophisticated way of dismissing our savagery, because there's no way one can love their neighbor with a double-blind study. To say, I'm going to claim ignorance, though I did not know the full aspect of the damages that would ensue on the human body. So I'm going to ignorantly assume that with this placebo test that I can cure people. That double-blind study thing is just the biggest. It's the most educated form of escaping our responsibility to humanity ever. It's a quote unquote pre-established legal term to remove people from facing the full consequences of the wrath of God. While you may miss wrath by society, you cannot escape the wrath of God when you close your eyes on and you see him on the other side. Oh my goodness. This is just so sad. Let's continue here because of the fact that they knew this was going to be a problem. They continue to push it. This is, I want to revisit something from earlier too. Elon Musk is scared because of the fact that the numbers of humanity is dying because of the fact that people, they've put more hope, instead of having children, of having pets. In light of a lot of the stuff that I share with you today,
it's always been a mystery to me. I love animals. Do I love animals more than humans? No. Especially the humans that I have in my home, my wife, my kids, and even my son, who was not here with me. And I have some very good friends, and I love you guys all. Do I love animals more than you? No. But honestly, when I see what society has done, I begin to understand why some people may choose to love animals more than love humans. Does God love that? I'm going to say no, but it's just sad. But I think this has been by plan. I think the reason why we have no order, I think the reason why we reject Torah and any kind of boundaries established in society is for society to decay at all different levels, so that humans now decide that they want to be hermits and they don't want to be around other humans. And if it means not procreating, they're willing to go to their grave and die with their animals rather than see another life come into the world. I don't know how many times people are saying to me, are you sure you want to bring kids into this world? It's people from a despondent nature that they don't seem to understand that this world is bigger and greater than the societies and the sycophants ruining it. The Lord created. In the beginning, God. Not in the beginning, government. In the beginning, God. And we fail to recognize his power and his situation in this thing here. Zempic, we did that one. Let's go to the final one. So Elon's leaving the White House, and he has bigger plans because he's got a mission to Mars. Now, in light of everything that we said, in light of the fears of the devastations that we're causing to this world, this country, our communities, this country, our world, why should we have the freedom to go to another world and destroy it, another planet and destroy it? There's a lot of things that Elon has done, and I'm really appreciative of what he's done. But for me, I'm trying to understand, why should we foolishly believe that we have the right to go somewhere else and cause more damage there? I mean, the people who want to protect the environment are not protecting the environment. And you see the damage of what we're doing here, and you really think that the Lord of creation is going to give us the freedom to go to these other planets and cause disaster and decay there? Listen, our activities right now, creation is moaning and groaning, and understand that our wicked deeds on this planet has not just affected what's on this earth. It is the spiritual, metaphysical implications of our willfully sinful deeds is affecting creation beyond our solar system. And to believe that it's just confined to within this globe is very sad, and it's very arrogant to believe that we don't have. We don't fully understand the level of how our small deeds of malevolence are affecting creation. I think some people are aware of it, and they've designed it. They've created that by design. And until we understand and fix how we're broken here, I don't believe that we'll be permitted to go anywhere else and cause damage there as well. I think there's a reason why getting outside of the solar system would take too long, is because the Lord wants to limit how much we have polluted his creation. And that's just not on this planet. It's everywhere else. Our society is dying, folks. And if we don't make the necessary changes right now to change our behavior, we're only going to see the worst that humanity has to offer. And this is just today. So this Wednesday, I look forward to seeing you as we're going to look at Genesis 47. We're going to have some fun there, and hopefully we can all grow. Genesis 47. Listen, Brad Stacks and Daily Mojo is going to be coming up next. You can catch them on Rumble as well as Facebook. And I appreciate every last one of you. Again, check out LEP and many of the other shows that are available to you on Mojo 50 Radio. And again, I hope that I'm hoping before the end of this month, when I take PTO again, I can finally have, or hopefully before then, have Battle for Freedom really delivered to you, making some serious headways
there with respect to all the websites. I'm looking forward to having for you not only Battle for Freedom's website, you'll have the Watson Prunier website, and as well as you'll have the Stone's Heart website, all up and running soon. One of the big things for me, like last week, started yesterday. Facebook decided to remove all videos that were older than 30 days. So if you look back on Facebook.com, there's going to be a lot of videos missing. And honestly, I downloaded many of them, and I started downloading many of them again. And honestly, to tell you the truth, anything before April 24th of last year, when I started getting into Torah, I don't really care about losing, because there's a bigger lesson. Seriously, I think it's made my weight of bringing out the content for battleforfreedom.com a lot easier, because of the fact that I'm not going to worry about those things that I said in the past. Honestly, folks, I really consider it rubbish, garbage, anything that I shared with you prior to starting to embrace Torah, because I just only had part of the picture of what I was sharing to you. Even the lessons on systematic theology, even my lessons going through the Bible, I'm going to redo them now in light of having a perspective of Torah that I did not have before. And hopefully I can enjoy my company with the rest of you going soon. For now, take care, and God bless everyone. And please be safe. It's crazy out there.